It's time to haul some fucking potatoes. It's a lot of really big potatoes. So, if I'm remembering the announcement right, it has to be over 100 miles to count, so all of these are valid. I think the reason I'm not seeing very many of them is because I haven't been to very many places in Idaho. So let's change that. Let's start with this short one here. Go up here, and then we'll head north and see what's going on there. We can deliver some potatoes to Washington.
Navigation resumed.
I haven't driven in a long time. I think the update reset my volume. Took the edge off a little bit. That's still way too loud. Hang on. Where is my mixer? Just cut that cleanly in half. That should make the music a little more, come through a little better.
Keep right, then turn right.
those are extremely some potato fields, I guess.
You have arrived.
Yep, there she is. It's real.
Navigation resumed.
I think we can loop through here.
Navigation resumed. In 200 meters, turn right. In 200 meters, turn right. In 200 meters,
Hello, Taco. Taco's here. I moved my little anime boy over to the other side, though, covering up the co-pilot portraits. Otherwise, I would put Taco's beautiful cryptid stare up. Thank you. It's the only type of turn I make. Like so. Listen, Big Spud waits for no one.
keep left. Then, turn left.
With the Big Spud, nah, it's just a regular cargo, unfortunately. I have the special transport pack, but I generally don't do those on stream since they're a little tedious. Good question. I think the biggest isn't really coming to mind. There was a really tricky one last time I streamed. I think we were going through, where was it? I think it might have been a back road somewhere in Colorado or Utah. It was a whole bunch of just real, like, wide, long turns that my insistence at taking them at about 70 wasn't helping.
Keep right, then turn right.
I'd probably be doing a slightly better job of these if I was still in the old, well, I say old, the newer Freightliner model, but the modded one, I gotta say, it's doesn't have as many options. The suspension is a little loose. Doesn't seem to quite have the same power, and steering it is kind of like herding cats. But you know what? It's got style. I have definitely gotten stuck a few times. I have had to, like, I think this was one time in Nevada, I got the trailer stuck trying to cut through the shoulder. I had to unhook it and then kind of abuse the range on the trailer hookup to sort of glitch it forward about 5 feet until the wheels were back on the ground and I could pull it. It turns out, if you're within about like 3 feet of where you're quote-unquote supposed to hook up, it will just kind of magically leap forward. And there's been a few times I've had to drop the load and come back to check out mechanics, viewpoints, etc. But that's not as funny. I don't think I've ever actually gotten the truck permanently stuck, though. I've never had to take a tow. Though by saying that, I've surely jinxed it and I'll need one by the end of the stream. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Less often than when I've gotten the modded Freightliner, since it doesn't really get up to the same speeds. But in the previous Freightliner I had, the base game one, I would regularly try to pass on the shoulder doing like 85, 90-ish, and if you hit the median doing that, the physics engine does not like it, and you will jackknife. With this one, anytime I've actually gotten up to those speeds and gotten into some kind of scrape, the physics engine also doesn't like it, but it dislikes it in a very different way that usually results in me going to space. Ah, damn, I should have clipped the last time that happened, I forgot. Can't remember if that was last stream or the one before it. I have been playing other things for a while. Top speed, fastest I've ever gone. Good question. I don't think I've ever actually broken 100, although I don't use modded engines. If I was in free drive without a cargo, I could probably break 100. But I don't spend a lot of time free driving. Slowest. There was one cargo that gave us a lot of trouble once. It was mostly going up hills and it was extremely heavy. I think we spent most of that doing about 20, 25-ish? Down to like 15 on uphill. It was a very long delivery. I love that this thing is just chained down in the back like King Kong. Oh, that's fine. There's kind of an inherent absurdity to how this game skews close to reality in some ways and comes nowhere near reality in others. Well, get ready, because if I can't overtake this bus, we're gonna get in even more trouble. I gotta brake.
Then take the exit on the right.
You win this day, bus.
Keep right, then turn right.
Alright, who is receiving this shipment of one very large potato?
You have arrived.
Yes, hello, fake Walmart. I would like to purchase one large potato. Well, that's not happening. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, no need. I've got this one in the bag. No, that is a very good question. I bet if I looked on the cargo market, I could get the actual value of these things, but I don't have my own trailer yet. Yeah, since I don't have my own trailer, I can't even look at it. Alright, so let's see here. We're not getting a lot of these potato jobs because I don't have very many cities unlocked here. So I'm going to see if there's anything going up north. Yeah, a lot of these are just... A lot of these will be taking me very far away from Ohio, or from Idaho, and a thing that I discovered is now there apparently is a way to just kind of bounce around, but they also, after they moved me back here after the update to my normal, like, garage here, I was charged $2,000 to fast travel to Idaho, so it's just enough to hurt a little bit. So I don't want to go too far from Idaho until I get enough of these unlocked. Oh, see, this is perfect. This is going up to Spokane. It's not great pay, but passing through Grangeville and Coeur d'Alene will unlock some more jobs. Yeah, I've been really slacking on unlocking more of the map.
Navigation resumed.
We just dropped this off. Okay, well, I guess we're bringing this up north then. Like, I get that it's not, like, quote-unquote, the same cargo, but it is literally in the spot that they wanted me to drop it off. That's very funny.
Navigation resumed.
It would, after all, it is a real potato. Totally real.
Right. Turn right.
Clearly they varnished it before sending it out.
Turn right.
Foiled by my own impatience. It do be like that.
Right.
If you honk while going through an intersection, it's legal to run the red light.
Keep left.
Little known life hack. Oh, I wish. Mostly they just look sick. One of the recurring topics with my usual regulars is like, I would love something with this kind of gameplay loop, but also with kind of like, not the sort of like, what's a good example of this that isn't just me complaining about Elite Dangerous again? That's the perfect bad example, so I'm just gonna use that one. Something where you have to get cargo from point A to point B, and there is an element of danger that isn't just like getting pulled over and shot at, something more akin to like the opening of the first Fast and Furious movie, where you occasionally have to deal with hijackers trying to steal your DVD players or something. Trance music. Not really offhand. I have a handful of radio stations that I use that I have sorted mostly by how often I get my stream muted for using them. I have Vapor FM that I'm playing right now, which is thus far the safest. I got Gemendo Lounge, which is kind of inoffensive but also puts me to sleep. And Vapor Funk is a little more interesting, but also it's got like a 50-50 shot of getting muted. I have never driven a full-size truck. I did used to do commercial driving. Like small vans, box trucks, that sort of thing. I was in the running to get a CDL at one point, but I could not deal with it. Like, psychologically, driving something this big with the potential to kill, like, as many people as truck collisions generally do, could not deal with it. At least if you crash a box van, you're guaranteed to kill maybe yourself and, like, 3 other people. Full-size semi-truck, you're talking, like, that can be anywhere from, like, a dozen. More, depending on the pileup. On that cheerful note, I'm going to swap over to another station. Let's see what's going on Vapor Funk. Oh yeah, a train would be an absolute disaster, and they typically are. Although safer in aggregate than car traffic. There we go. This is a little peppier. It's probably gonna get my VOD muted, but whatever. I should see if there are some other stations I can dig up, though. I've tried, like, there are 2, like, major solutions that Twitch proposes to not getting your VOD muted, and both of them are, let's see, there's one that just adds music to your stream, but not your VOD. It plays mostly just inoffensive electronica tracks. It's fine. Some other people I know use it, and whatever. I prefer to have the music baked in, so I don't like that one. The other option is Pretzel, which is a music player with a whole bunch of royalty-free stations that are mostly, yeah, mostly shit, not very good. Like, at best, they are fine. At worst, they're not good and distracting. Furthermore, they don't have a vaporwave category on there, which is my usual genre of choice, as you might have guessed. They've got some, like, they've got a synthwave category on there. Yeah, that's just kind of, it's very much like you can feel that it came from someone being like, I want to make some royalty-free synthwave. I have no inspiration beyond this. Here's some synthwave. There are also some Spotify playlists that are supposed to be safe for streaming, but I haven't listened much to them, and a lot of it is mostly lo-fi, which is, again, fine, but it puts me to sleep. Something that I would love to do, but I extremely definitely can't do, is I would love to use the... I would love to overtake as well, but that's a gamble. I would love to use the in-game radio a bit more. But almost everything on there is guaranteed to get you copyright struck or muted or whatever. There's one really good jazz station that I like, but again, Every time I pull it up, it is just immediate like, oh yeah, no audio. Damn, you're right. Good call. That was absolutely the correct thing to do. Now, I am hurtling through the town center at 50 miles an hour, but that's fixable. Yeah, like on one hand, playing without traffic offense kind of removes some of the challenge, in that you don't really have the financial penalties of like, you know, risk reward, do I want to run this red light, do I want to speed sort of thing. But on the other hand, it lets your hubris get the better of you. I would rather be punished by the gods than punished by the law. And the law would not see fit to punish me in as hilarious a way as, you know, clipping the divider, doing 95, and jackknifing. Especially with this truck, which, as I've mentioned, loves to just go to space sometimes. Yep, depending on how this goes, we may end up seeing at least one big potato go to space. As ever, I continue to be torn between my appreciation for the extremely good scenery and my desire to obstruct my view in the cabin as much as possible. When I found out I could put that big metal sunshade up there, I was extremely pleased. This actually covers more than the plastic one. The chrome one has that dip in the middle. And then, of course, all of my various window hangers, which in real life would get me pulled over immediately. Although, fun trick I can do with those. Check out SpongeBob over there. Hey, thanks for the follow. Spinning SpongeBob says thanks as well. Something I've been meaning to do is just replace all of these with SpongeBob and see if I can get them all spinning at once. But I keep forgetting to. Although I did replace every single other ornament in there with cats. I could have fit more if I put them in the cup holders, but they clip really badly. Hey, welcome. just in time to watch me overtake these people and get violently owned. Yep, sometimes you gamble and win, sometimes you gamble and lose. Today, with the power of Big Potato, we win. Hey, welcome to Grangeville, everyone. We should probably get gas here. Every so often you gotta refamiliarize yourself with them. I have like spent a lot of time trying to calibrate the exact level of power I want on these things, so that I'm not like stopping short all the time. And let me tell you, every time I play, it feels completely different. I did wonder at one point if there was like parts wear to that level, but if there is, I haven't experienced it. I think it's just me remembering things badly. As for rigging this to run from the Hodas, I might actually be able to do that. I mean, it interprets the 360 pad as just a bunch of axes and buttons, so I don't see why it wouldn't work like that. That would be a really weird way to control this, though. Fuzzy dice are classic. I think the biggest obstacle to rebinding this thing to run off the flight stick would probably be, honestly, probably just be the amount of time it would take to do that. And that I don't know how to back up my binding file for this. You know, I actually have no idea what the origin of fuzzy dice is. I've just only ever seen them as like, oh, this is a thing you see in movies or TV shows or whatever. It's like a trucker thing. Mostly I just like them because, like everything else I've stuck to my windshield, they flop around when I turn.
meters. Turn left.
Wow, did you see that? Oh, interesting. That car that was in front of me almost got, like, fucking obliterated. You know, I don't think we're going to be pulling in for an inspection. I think we're just going to skip that. Yeah, I can see how that would follow from there. I've forgotten how to turn my high beams on. I think it's like K. There it is.
Keep right. Then take the exit on the right.
If you're wondering, I have to have the high beams on this thing. Otherwise, the headlights are asymmetrical, and I can't figure out why that is. When it gets a little darker, I'll demonstrate. Actually, right here would be ideal. Look at that. I can see everything to my right. Can't see anything in front of me. Now, you might be thinking, is that because I put a bunch of lights on the front, occluding my own headlights? And the answer is no. The answer is apparently magic. Speed. We are currently going at a brisk 43 miles per hour. Which is not as fast as I would like, but I had to make that turn. Good question. I can never remember the exact thing you multiply it by. It's like 2 point something. Oh yeah? Okay, 1.6. Yeah, so like 64 would be like 90, 100-ish? Yeah, 60 times 1.06, like 0.5 would be 90, so yeah, about 100. Funny enough, you can change the gauges to use metric stuff. I don't think you can. Let me see. Yeah, the only... Unless there's another one for the voiced route advisor. Ah, yeah, I see. Here we are. So I've got this all set to Imperial. But... for some reason, the voiced route advisor only uses metric. So like even the custom modded one I've got that uses Google voice to text or whatever, it still only uses metric. Which, whatever, meter's basically a yard. I think it's time to overtake. Definitely not dangerous at all to do this while it's completely pitch black. Surely we would see headlights ahead. Wait a second, the music stopped. What the hell? Huh. Just froze up for no reason. Alright, back to it. Yep, that's 10:22. Oh yeah, I'm really fond of the red interior light. One of my favorite things that came with this modded truck. Something I'm definitely going to miss if I end up having to go back to base game trucks. The new multiplayer convoy thing doesn't support mods. But, check this out. Now that is a man on a mission. That is someone who is going somewhere and does not care what is between him and his destination. Although I still wish they would add more trucker models. As mentioned before, they only have two. They have a man and a woman, and that's it. They don't have, like, additional skins or anything for whatever portrait you choose. Which I think is short-sighted, because there are some really good portraits in this. Can't really see it on my profile here because it's just using my World of Trucks avatar, but you know I picked the one that looks like homicidal Santa Claus. It's the only one that spoke to me. That's fine. Laws aren't real anyway. And I'm about to do worse anyway. Like I said, it's legal if you hit your horn while you're in the intersection. That means if anybody hits you, it's their fault.
Keep right, then take your exit on the right.
I appreciate the contrast. Oh, top speed? I have gotten this one up to around 90-ish, but it was not sustainable. This thing generally cruises around like, with like a medium cargo on like a straightaway, maybe like 70-ish. With like a heavier load, it'll go a lot lower, of course. But as mentioned, I've gotten this thing up to like 90, and at 90 it becomes unstable. Feels like selling it short. But yeah, I like the contrast of driving at night in this. They did a really good job getting the vibe of night driving. Unfortunately, there are some concessions that I am forced to make. Mostly to the... You're gonna cut me off anyway, dude. Go. Mostly to the physics engine here. Like, as mentioned, this truck is modded and it likes to go to space. So, like, as much as I would love to, like, plunk a modded engine in this thing and go at 200 miles an hour constantly, I would not be able to finish a job because I would hit a mile marker and go into orbit. Yeah, I'm gonna be heading north anyway to unlock another city. So let's see how fast we can get it going. Alright, let me just take a look at the external contracts here. Yeah, there's some more potatoes, but they're all long distance. So what we're going to do instead is, as mentioned, we're going to do some free driving. And I don't have Coeur d'Alene or Sandpoint unlocked, so I'm going to head over there. Unlock that one. And then to see what this is. Why is it putting these in reverse order? Hang on. Only to the end. First to Coeur d'Alene. Then to Sandpoint. And once we have those unlocked, head down to Lewiston. Looks like around here. There we go. That'll get those 3 unlocked, and that'll give us some nice straightaways to see how fast we can go. Can't get out over here. I have to assume that since there's been an update and the Freightliner still makes these noises, that's just what Freightliners sounded like. The only Freightliner of this model I'm familiar with is Optimus Prime, so I couldn't say. Alright, I got the pedal floored. This isn't a highway yet, but we got a little bit of road before we have to stop. Oh damn, we really have to stop. That is an invisible wall. Or well, one of those visible invisible walls. I would love if they put some Scanias in here. This game desperately needs some more. I know it doesn't fit with, again, this being American Truck Simulator. Most American trucks are not cab-over engine, but I would love for there to be a base game cab-over. I just like being higher up. And yeah, that was one of those, oh yeah, no, that's just one of the ones where, in reality that would take you deeper into the city, and here it just takes you to hell. Yes, it's like, they're in Euro Truck Simulator, so like, they get exported and imported. People drive them all over the place. I have definitely seen cab-overs in America. But I have to assume it's licensing. There is a Freightliner in the base game. I forget what it's called, but it's the new one that just came out. And it is not a cab-over. It's nice. If I do have to go back to a vanilla truck, I'm probably going to pick that one. But it is not the Freightliner FLB. Anyway, I wasn't paying attention. Did we clear 90 there, or did we not? I think we got up to like 85-ish. True. Why is Coeur d'Alene not unlocking? Maybe I have to go over here.
Navigation resumed. In 200 meters, turn right.
Although it wouldn't be the only situation in which this game has stuff that only caters to, like, people who do tuning. There's some DLC stuff for this that is explicitly like, hey, do you want to put a bunch of gaudy tuning stuff on your truck? So they're not limited by, like, the practical realities of sourcing parts. So the way I see it, it's got to be licensing. Well, I'm on the way there. Come on, baby. 85, 85, come on. 85. Oh, I think that might be it. Oh, lower right corner. It's on top of the map. Speedometer is right here, and the speed limit is the sign underneath it. There's one in the actual, like, cab in the 3D view, but it's very tiny and it's mostly hidden by the wheel. Yeah, like right above the notch on the gun. Alright, so let's see here. Did we actually unlock? I think it's still gray. Maybe I have to stop over here. This has got to be it. This is the last road in Coeur d'Alene that I haven't driven down.
Navigation resumed. In 200 meters, turn left.
It is one of the reasons I ended up turning off fatigue simulation in this as well. I liked having to find places to, like, rest. but it also meant that functionally we were always driving at night. I like occasionally driving at night, but if you do it all the time, well, you can't see anything, you know? This has to be it. There's a garage here, so this has to be like the city center. There we go. Oh, I have it on automatic. If I had a wheel with a shifter, I might switch it back to manual, but by default it's on like... What are the default controller controls for shifting? It's like you have to hold a shoulder button and use one of the sticks. It's real unwieldy. Alright, so we have this unlocked now. We can get further potato jobs from here. Let's go get Sandpoint and Lewiston. Or rather, let's hit Sandpoint and then see if we can grab a job going down to Lewiston. Yeah, that's what I said. What about it? It's a word.
In 200 meters, turn left.
That is a promise I cannot make. In general, I do my best to avoid hitting other cars, but sometimes the bloodlust overtakes me. Oh no, we're doing free drive. I wanted to unlock some of these northern Idaho cities so that I can get more potato cargoes. When you're browsing contracts, you can only see things going from places that you've either been to or just like delivered to. It's what was throwing me about Coeur d'Alene, since like I was driving all through it and wasn't getting it unlocked. But now that we have that, and shortly we'll have Sandpoint, I should be able to get a wider array of potato jobs. Scoozy.
In 200 meters, turn right.
It's fine, we're fine, they're fine. Everybody's fine.
Turn right. Then turn left.
See, that was easy. I just had to, like, take the exit. Alright, I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna... Where is it? Oh, there it is. I thought it was over in the lot. I'm gonna grab this viewpoint. while this is running, I'm gonna go grab another soda. I return. Alright. Now that we have Sandpoint unlocked, let's go ahead and check out the job market. Ugh. Wow, just not a lot of potatoes. Well, that's 700 miles. 717 down to Ogden. That goes within Idaho, but that seems against the spirit of the challenge. Let's grab this one. Let's head back south. Go to Ogden. I'm gonna add some detours. So we swing through Lewiston and Ketchum.
Navigation resumed.
Let's see here. Well, hang on. First things first. How much gas we got? 700-ish? Yeah, that'll be fine. We won't need to stop for gas. Fastest truck. Well, seeing as this one seems to cruise at around 85, honestly, the fastest one would probably be, let me go ahead and call it up here. The Freightliner Cascadia, that's the old one. I had one of these before I switched to the modded Freightliner. As you can see, by the fact that, like, 500, 370, this claims to have 507, but in my experience, the one with 500 horsepower on it, the Cascadia, extremely, extremely fast. Now, let's see here. Well, we gotta get our cargo first before I can add my detours. Otherwise, it will get confused.
Turn right. Right. Then turn right.
Oh, it was very zippy. I drove that the most actually before I turned off traffic offense. on some of my oldest streams that I believe are still in my VODs, I used to follow traffic rules very closely, and it was a perfectly fine and valid way to play, but just got kinda dull to me.
Keep right, then turn right.
As I've mentioned, I trust my own hubris to punish me to a much greater degree than I trust the law. I would rather aim for the stars and jackknife upon the moon than, you know, get a fucking $900 ticket for clipping a station wagon.
Keep right, then turn right.
How did I know this was also gonna be turning? Well, I'm gonna be turning first. How do you like that?
Continue straight. Turn right.
Why does fake Home Depot have the big potato? Is this where they strategically apply shellac to it so it doesn't go bad? Nope, wrong way. There we go. Get this shit out of my way. Big potato coming through. Jesus. Imagine leaving Home Depot and getting clipped by a truck carrying a giant, totally real, not fake potato.
Turn right.
Oh yeah, that's only sensible. The last thing you want is that thing flying off when you're at speed. I love that NPCs in this have just enough awareness to flash their brights at you when you have your brights on. Just the briefest flicker of intelligence from them. Though again, I don't really have a choice. Fun fact, with traffic offense on, this is another thing I would be getting ticketed for, using high beams. Like every 5 to 10 minutes, a $900 ticket for using brights when there's oncoming traffic. Oh, I'm high beaming everyone. I really wish more of the lights on the front of this thing worked, though. The Freightliner FLB... Oh, that's the thing I've been showing you here. This is regular headlights. I can't see a thing. So I have to put on high beams in order to be able to steer. And something about the lights on the modded Freightliner are a little buggy, like a little bit. Like, I've got all of my lights on right now. And in photo mode, most of them, like, they have the little sprite that shows you they're on, but they don't seem to actually cast any luminance at all. And then I've got 2 on top that just don't work, and 1 here that doesn't work. And then I've got my regular headlights that do work, and then the lights over my headlights that don't work, which I already tested, and that's not what's causing my regular headlights not to work. They were already, like, anemic without having stuff on top of them. Mostly because it looks sick. I really like cab overs. I also used to, when I originally played this, when the Freightliner FLB mod originally came out, that was my main truck. But it was also the only truck I had in the save. American Truck Simulator updated, it became incompatible, I lost my profile. Whole thing. I have backup trucks in this, so like if necessary, I can roll back to a previous version, sell it, and get another one. But yeah, it's just mostly me being a little, me being torn. It's like, again, I like the style of this truck. I think it looks good, even if it's not necessarily the best for what I do with it. But also, again, there's like the constant threat of it becoming... Yeah, there's the constant threat of it becoming incompatible with future versions. The modder who maintains this is notorious for disappearing. It was genuinely a miracle that they were around in time for 1.41, which was like just the other day. And furthermore, it's not compatible with a lot of base game accessories. So like, the reward, well, one of the rewards for doing this is a sticker that you can put in your sleeper cab. This does not support that. This barely supports base game cabin accessories. All of these are from the SISL mod pack. This also requires an external mod to be compatible with the Steering Creations DLC. It also doesn't have very many paint jobs. I think I've actually maxed out my level in terms of what paint jobs will unlock, and it's basically just base colors, metallic colors, or like a couple of stripe patterns. I can't put my totally sick dragon paint on it. So like, at some point I am going to have to ditch this for a base game truck. Yeah, it's sad, because, like, there are some games that, like, really take well to being heavily modded. And then there are some games where, like, mod support seems like an afterthought, and this is one of them. Like, you may notice, down here on the bottom, the game contains unauthorized modifications. No support is available for modified game. In case of problems or crashes, try to remove your mod packs. That's a completely sensible attitude to have. But in terms of any kind of support, I have seen like trying to remember how this went down. Actually, I think this might have been related to the one of the map mods, so that's probably not applicable because those actually do radically alter the game world. There are you familiar with pro mods? There's like a modding like team or crew or like just one very dedicated person. I don't know what the situation is. Oh, I don't have any modded engines. I mean, technically the engine in this is modded since it's unique to the Freightliner, but I generally don't play with those. But in Euro Truck Simulator 2, there was a mod that essentially took the base game like countries and expanded them to the point where you could go down, you could take like a ferry to like North Africa and such. Just really, really widened the scope, but also just completely incompatible with everything. There is one for American Truck Simulator as well. That, to my knowledge, see how we've got the West Coast here, a little bit of the middle? There's one called Coast to Coast that adds everything. Now, at a quality level you would expect from SCS, probably not. But it has it has full coverage, but again, also extremely incompatible. So yeah, I would not expect SCS to provide support for that sort of thing. But something as simple as like adding a truck model, you would kind of think like, hey, is there a reason this becomes incompatible with every single version update? Is there a reason that like GPS voice mods also got depreciated at some point, to the point where like if you download one it's basically a 50-50 shot at whether or not it works? I don't know. Since there's really nothing that like adds radically to the gameplay, I am, again, probably fine with eventually going back to like a vanilla truck, but I don't know. Like I said, torn. It's starting to lighten up. I can actually turn that off now. Why it is, but buses seem to consistently have the most dodgy AI in this. That is honestly fair. I do not have a disk drive. I have a pre-built, what is this thing called? I forget the name of it. It's one of those pre-built gamer PC tower things. Looks kind of like an evil monument.
Keep left.
Oh, for playing like DVDs. Probably somewhere. Honestly, at this point, pretty much anything that I watch is legally acquired, and just I watch it on my PC. I don't know, I stopped keeping track, like 33, I think. Let's see, 7. Nope, 34. And let me tell you, I don't feel a day over 50. I just haven't used any physical media in a long time. I mean, if you want something that I have very strong opinions about, ask me about VHS. I do not, and I wish I did. I foolishly got rid of my old player before I really learned to appreciate the format. VHS was the last time that people generally had broad control over their media consumption, essentially. Like, if you had a VHS player, you could just record anything and replay it whenever you want. At a good quality? No, but it was broadly accessible. You could get blank tapes at like fucking Walgreens and shit. My dad had this huge collection of movies that he just recorded off of HBO and would just like, oh, today I feel like watching yet another movie about the Titanic that I've never heard of. I recorded this off of HBO 10 years ago, and we're just gonna watch that. And it's gonna be so fuzzy you can't fucking see anything in it, but the important thing is that he was able to record it and rewatch it whenever he wanted. And then we got shit like TiVo, we had the broad adoption of DVD, and these things are not open. These are not open formats. Like, you can burn a DVD if you have a DVD burner. If you have a DVD player, all you can do is play DVDs, and oftentimes you can't play burned DVDs. And furthermore, they're region locked. So if you get a DVD from, like, some other country, and it's not in the region lock that's on your DVD player, you can't watch it even though you're physically holding the disc. That was the beginning of the end for end-user control over media consumption. Okay, I'm gonna pass this guy. I can't fucking deal with him right now. I'm busy thinking about dead formats. So, like, the sort of like how best to put this without being extremely incriminating. So like VHS, you could choose to record stuff yourself, and trading VHSs was like, that was something that you had to do pretty much in person. Like you could mail them or whatever. And like as a fan of Mystery Science Theater, there was that whole thing about, keep circulating the tapes, keeping older episodes that they lost the license to alive when they were still putting out collections of them and such. And nowadays, if you want to watch, like, I don't know, say that you have an intense desire to be queer-baited by a corporation, you could download and watch Loki right now. But you have to be tech-savvy to do this. You have to know about, like, torrents and shit. And thanks to streaming platforms, like the current generation... Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I'm so fucking old. The current generation doesn't really know how to do this kind of stuff. They weren't really they didn't grow up in the golden age of piracy. Like, none of them had to open like Kazaa or anything like that. So somebody wants to watch Loki or whatever, they're like, I gotta get a Disney Plus subscription. And like, no you don't, buddy. But also you should be watching better things anyway. Oh yeah, back in high school and like first and only semester of college, yeah, we were like trading stuff all the time, just like making burned CDs and putting like old 480p rips of various anime OVAs and shit on CDs and trading those around. Yeah, well, you know what? I would download a car. How about that? Wait a minute. I did download a car. This unlicensed downloaded vehicle. This is an illegal artistic rendition of a Freightliner. Oh yeah, and also, video game piracy as well. That is also at, like, an all-time low culturally. There are still release groups, bless their fucking hearts, who are still putting stuff out. But, like, if you're poor and you want to play video games, 9 times out of 10 your answer is go fuck yourself. More and more, like, live service shit coming out. If you want to play Destiny 2 and you don't have any money, well, then you can just grind patrols in the free-to-play, totally not at all curtailed version of that game. Yeah, back in ye olden times, when I was but a wee bairn, companies would regularly give away like the first act of a game for free in this arcane practice known as shareware, because they realized, hey, if you can't afford the game, here's at least something you can play, and 2, if you can see a bunch of the game, you might be more inclined to buy it. As opposed to now, when there are essentially almost no demos at all, let alone any, like, shareware-esque sharing of the first episode or part of things. I think it was the correct move because, like, they realized very early on a fact that companies would love to suppress now, which is a download is not a sale. If someone pirates something, that is not a lost sale. There is not a product that is manufactured that is lost. I'm feeling rebellious. I'm gonna sideswipe this cop. Yeah. You're fine. Yeah, it's not even really the one-stop shop it used to be anyway. Honestly, it feels like 9 times out of 10, pretty much anything you find on there is some kind of honeypot. And, like, let's also... Oh, yeah. For legal purposes, I'm going to say no, but you know what I'm talking about. But, like, let's also not forget that this massive shift towards, like, live service games, multiple disparate streaming platforms also coincides with a massive apocalyptic global recession. So not only is it harder, it is also, like, that much more unethical. Like, I could think of, like, oh yeah, I could think of personally no better time to suddenly be like, yeah, video games are $70 now. I can think of no better time to be like, it's fine, the Spud's fine. I can think of no better time to be like, oh yeah, if you want to watch more than one TV show, you have to get multiple $9 a month subscriptions. Then when, you know, everybody is broke and there's a gigantic pandemic happening. That reminds me, how much debt are we in currently? Just about $500,000. I've been in deeper. We do need to stop for gas at some point, though. There's no way to cross over to catch him. And yeah, it's truly ridiculous. There was definitely, like, a concerted effort to destroy Netflix early on when that got really popular and had everything on it. But also, like, every decision Netflix has made has been them just emptying a full magazine into their foot. It's like, yeah, you know what people want to see? They want to see more original content. They don't want to watch old movies. Me canceling my subscription. No, I wanted to watch old movies. The older, the better. Now if I want to watch old 80s horror movies, I would have to subscribe to like 3 different services that specifically specialize in old horror movies. Though from what I've heard, Shudder is actually extremely good. Yeah, like, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, like, that I don't enjoy new stuff, but, like, I have definitely fallen off really hard. Like, I'm trying to think of the last... What's the last new horror movie that I actually enjoyed? Yeah, it's subject to the exact same market forces that have been, like, crushing everything else. God, I know there's been a couple of things, but I can't think of the titles offhand. Like 90% of the stuff that back when I was watching movies more regularly, was just like, hey, here's something from like 1986, has Tom Atkins in it. I bet this is a good time. Flawless. Yeah? Anything in particular? I think I remember that one. That's the one that's like, it's kind of like a parody of the Fantastic Voyage, like a little submarine gets injected into some comedian whose name I can't remember. I think I saw that like a really long time ago, but I don't remember much about it. Most of my favorite stuff from the 90s is like the later Stuart Gordon catalogs. So you have like late 80s like Robot Jocks and such, and then early 90s you have like the extremely like, excuse me? You believe this guy? Anyway, you have the extremely baffling adaptation of Frankenstein that was done around then. I think the later sequels to Reanimator went into the early to mid 90s. Oh, hell yeah. As far as I'm concerned, first one, perfect movie. Second one, it's fine. You know, people say the new one's supposed to be like... It's definitely not a good remake, but it's supposed to be a pretty interesting movie. I have not had the time to look into it, though. Oh, hell yes. Gremlins 2 kicks ass. Gremlins 2 is a fantastic example of like a thing that I like across like genres and mediums, which is an object created for the purpose of spite. Just very much a situation where like Joe Dante directed the first Gremlins, and Gremlins was super popular, and so for years they were like, hey Joe, do you want to make Gremlins 2? Do you want to make Gremlins 2? How about now? We'll give you a bunch of money if you make Gremlins 2. We don't have any ideas for it, but please make Gremlins 2. And eventually, Joe was like, okay, I'll direct Gremlins 2. You want Gremlins 2? I'll give you fucking Gremlins 2. And he made Gremlins 2, which was an incredible cinematic object. It's also, like, really watchable, which is rare in spite objects. Usually you get something like Freddy Got Fingered, which is basically Tom Green wasting as much studio money as he possibly could. It's not watchable, but it is laudable. Man, it takes a long-ass time to drive all the way across Idaho. It's like states are big or something. Don't know why that keeps happening. Ghosts or something. Sometimes when I go back into regular view, the wipers will turn themselves on. It's tough to say. I think they're really... I think they're really fun movies. I think the first one still genuinely holds up. I think they hold up really well up until, like... I haven't seen 6 or 7. I remember 5 being really fun. That was the one where they dragged the bank vault around, I think. I everything I've seen of 6 and 7 looks like it's also fun, but it also seems like at some point they all just kind of became cops, which I feel is really antithetical to the first movie. Paul Walker would not have wanted his family to turn heel and become cops. Like, early on, they were also, like, generally going up against, like, they went up against the cops in the sense of, like, they were sort of, they had sort of an antagonistic relationship with The Rock's character, Hobbs. But they also were going up against other, like, super criminals and such. It's like, oh, we ride the line, we go against the law, but this guy's real bad. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's a justification, sure. But then, you know, they befriended Hobbs, and later on it was like, oh, now we're going up against terrorists and such. And it's like, I never really got into Bad Boys. I think Michael Bay's a really good, like, cinematographer. I think his writing is not good. I think he is... I don't think he's funny. He thinks he's very funny, but he isn't. Yeah, like, again, absolutely respect the cinematography of everything he's worked on, including, this is a contentious opinion, including some of the stuff in the Transformers movies. There is some stuff in there that is, like, more visually readable than you would expect from just a bunch of spinning metal parts. The rest of it is trash, though. Even when you think it's over the top enough to work, like in the later ones where they're like, oh yeah, there were robots around during the time of King Arthur, it's still so fucking boring. You can't put Anthony Hopkins on screen talking about Knights of the Round Table and then have your movie be boring. Yeah, they were cool for the 45 seconds they were on screen. Jesus, this is one heavy potato. Look at this, 65. I have the hammer completely down. Yeah, the moon one, I think, was the last one that I allowed, big air quotes around this. The first one, the last one that I allowed friends to drag me to the theater for. The only thing I remember about that, it was one of the robots being voiced by Leonard Nimoy, and it was one of his last roles. And at the end of the movie, Optimus Prime just shoots him in the face. So, like, one of the last spoken words of Leonard Nimoy, the great luminary, Spock himself, one of the last spoken words on the silver screen was him screaming, "Optimus, no!" and getting shot in the face. You know, I expected this stream was going to be mostly hauling potatoes around. I was not expecting to accidentally reveal that I have capital T, capital O, Transformers opinions. Although I try not to. Down that road lies only heartache. Again, this is not cruise control. I have the trigger completely down here. This is just as fast as we're going. That is one heavy-ass potato. One heavy, extremely real potato. I might as well have cruise control on. Ugh, save my hand. Yeah, I'm gonna deliver it to the striking Frito-Lay's workers so they can put it out front like Scabby the Rat. I don't think I will be pulling in for an inspection. Actually, I think I will, because I am curious how heavy this potato is. And this is the only way outside of the job board to see how heavy something is. Come on, I want to weigh this potato. £44,744 of real potato. It's a lot of potato. That would result in multiple fatalities, and not just from the 2-inch layer of shellac they put on this thing. Oh, hey, the end's in sight. Wait a second. Those cars back there absolutely ran the red light. Only I'm allowed to do that. I'm the player.
Keep left, then turn left.
Like so. I would make a valiant attempt. I don't know if I could do it. Ah, yes. Historical landmark. Train station.
In 200 meters, turn right. You have arrived.
Alright. Where do they want it? That's not happening. I don't think this crane is designed for the big potato, but hey, if you want it there. Right, let's see here. The counter only says 1 to 7, but let me pop this open and check on my actual profile. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, according to the online one, it looks like I do have 3, so it's just the counter being weird. Alright. Let's go ahead and pop open the external contracts again. And we're gonna search for potato. Well, these aren't gonna do it for us because it's got to be from Idaho to somewhere else. We're just gonna have to drive back to Idaho. Or we could fast travel. Yeah, let's do that. I want to demonstrate how this works. This is some highway robbery shit. Let's see. Oh, you can't even go to these places, but you can go to Coeur d'Alene for $1,200. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna do it. There we go. Oh. And it dropped us off at a mechanic. That's handy. I do need some service. And I haven't leveled up, so there's probably nothing new I can glue to my truck. So, let's take a look at the market. There we go, that's 227, so that's over the requirement. It's going to Yakima, Washington, a place that I have not been, and I would like to unlock.
Navigation resumed.
Alright, and one sec. I gotta turn the lamp on. I just realized it's completely pitch black in here. Okay, I'm back. And I'm also going to change the music.
La mejor es rumba latina. La mejor es rumba latina. La mejor es rumba latina. La mejor es.
I think this one might be busted.
La mejor es rumba.
Good old Vapor FM. There we go. This one will never go down. It actually did go down for like 3 months while I was still working for ABC. I used to play that pretty much all the time so that I could just kind of zone out and get through the day, and let me tell you, that was a hard 2 months. Oh, hey Taco. Hi. Hey buddy. Oh, good buddy. Oh, good buddy. Alright, where were we? Let me get gas first. You know what I should do? Oh, I would love to put him on stream, but I do not have a camera. I can hold my microphone down and see if he says something. Hey, bud. He did not make a noise and instead tried to eat my microphone. He's very good. Anyway, what I should do, I should make some little cartoon versions of the cats to match my my VTuber avatar here. Currently, I have a thing set up with like... Yeah, they show up behind me. Hang on. There we go. And then we got Moo, who is currently snoozing on her box. Smoke, who is currently snoozing on a different box in a different room. And Taco, the cryptid, who just kind of comes and goes. I should make some old cartoon versions of them, have them pop up all over the place. That would be fun. Be something to do. Come on, people. Needs of the many. I gotta get this big potato. I would love to retexture these cats to look like the actual cats, but they all share the same texture, unfortunately. One sec, I'm checking my phone.
Keep right. Then take the exit on
Oh,
the right.
shit, I gotta make a turn. What's this? Oh, that's recruitment agency. You know, now that I've got that unlocked, I wonder if... Alright, let's see. Is that one really good portrait in here? He's not there. That's unfortunate. I wonder if it checks to make sure that there are no duplicates. You see the jump there. That's what I was talking about earlier. You can get these to sort of physics forward. Oh yes, no cargo is safe from the physics engine, not even the potatoes. Is that a cop? Nah, it's just a Crown Vic.
In 200 meters, turn left.
Oh, barely any.
200 meters, turn right.
External contracts can be pretty good for money, but like, I am preferentially choosing slightly shorter routes. And the potato cargo itself is not very lucrative. I'm mostly just doing these for the event. I think the current one is, let's see, yeah, 12 grand. That's nothing. If I'm doing like actual money-making cargoes, that's like 50, 60, 70-ish to go like across about half of the map. But previous events I've taken part in have not really paid very well at all either. I think the sole exception was the one that I actually finished, which was the double trailer logistics event, because that didn't actually have a special cargo. That just had, oh, we introduced double trailers to the game, take as many double trailers as you could, and they were just base game double trailers. I finished that one on my old profile. Though at least since they made the rewards for those Steam inventory items, I still have the stuff I got. I didn't lose that. I just lost my old profile. I'm starting to wonder if the 65 speed limit might be related to... Oh! It is! Right, because external contracts have a speed limiter attached to them, so that you can't cheese them with modded engines. I completely forgot about that. Well, that's disappointing. I mean, it's a heavy potato, but it's not clamped to 65 miles an hour heavy. That's the other downside of taking external contracts. Totally forgot. It's weird that they put in the effort to do that. Again, to like prevent modded engine cheesing. Oh yeah, 65 is fast when you're going through the city center. 65 is not fast when you're trying to overtake on the highway. But it's interesting that they choose to put in that restriction when like the event the rewards from this event have already been hacked into the game and are being sold on the Steam market. Even though the potato stickers and the bowl of potato chips, I think, are the end of event, like, community rewards. Those are already up there. You can buy them for like $2. But, you know, I can't go any faster than 65. Totally makes sense. Just pop the cruise control back on.
Right, then turn right.
It's the little things. Text from our landlord like, hey, DVR's not working. Can you reboot the cable box? Yeah, sure. Immediately put my phone down. I'm not rebooting the cable box. Somewhere, Mao smiles down approvingly. That said, I think this might be the last trip for tonight. Been going for about 2.5 hours, and while I do often go longer, typically I will change games around the 2 to 3 hour mark. And I gotta take a break around 9 anyway, so I might just cut it short early and then resume afterwards, possibly.